War veterans in Zimbabwe. This subject is actually taken a new twist and want to look at what is happening. The increase of war veterans from 34,000 that we had in 1997 to now a number of 200,000. Look at America. There were veterans that fought the World War II. It is depleting every day, and they are dying to a number of about 234 plus a day. Then we look at our own are increasing. We're also going to look at the untold truth about the war. There are some missing points that people or the war veterans tend to ignore. Hello and welcome to JCTV Africa. We'll look at issues that are happening in Zimbabwe and across Africa. There's been an increase of the war veterans lately. The question is, where did they come from? Why were they ignored all along? Why all of a sudden we now have new war veterans? One speaker said that if you were 1 year old in 1980, you are not a war veteran. Some of the people have tainted this war veteran name, and it is unfair on the population of Zimbabwe. And then the question that we also want to ask is, how are these war veterans going to be remunerated? And why is the government pushing for them to be remunerated? The reason why, I'll tell you the reasons. The first reason is, one, they want to keep them happy so that they can do their dirty job, which we all know is to intimidate people, to force people to vote, or to make sure that the people play allegiance to the ruling party. That's number one. Number two, they want to enslave the war veterans in the sense that in 2000, war veterans, they went and they allegedly took land. And what did they get? They got offer letters. They did not get the land. So it was hyped up that they took land, but the people who are actually owning the land are actually the politicians. Look at how people were removed at Run Mine recently. Look at how people have been displaced just after the 2018 elections in 2019. And they were left to fend for themselves because of them aligning with the party and fighting for the party, thinking that they will benefit at the end of the day. So they are going to be used and dumped by the ruling party. So those are the reasons why this is happening. So if they are then to be spoon-fed by a finance of that is coming from the government will simply withdraw that benefit at will when they feel like these people are now talking too much. Just like what you saw war veterans being arrested. It's a slave mentality that you are going to only be dependent on us instead of empowering people to enable them to fend for themselves, to be able to work for themselves without depending on the government. So that slave mentality, they want to perpetuate that. That is the reason. Then the other thing that I want to look at is that there are things that happened in the war. And one of the opposition leaders, Dr. Nkosana Moyo, who was a former Minister of Finance, said something at a debate in 2018. And he said, people must not forget that we all fought the liberation struggle. We had our relatives that lost their lives. And I want to tell you what happened during the war and that people tend to forget. There are 4 kinds of people that died during the war that I'm going to give you. First one, there are those who died in the crossfire when Smith guerrilla war, the war veterans were fighting. Those are the people who fought and they died. That is another group of people. Then the second group is, there is a group that was killed for being sellouts during the liberation struggle. Remember, Vanam Koma would come and integrate themselves in the community, and then they would do Mapungwe in educating the community, and then they were empowered by the community, they were given food and everything. But there are some people who were killed because they were allegedly called sellouts Yes, there were other sellouts, but there are other people who died innocently just because probably the mukoma that was there vakarambwa nemskana iyeye, and then they punished the whole family. These are the issues that happen. I'll tell you a story that happened with my brother who was working in Harare, and he came back. He didn't know what was the situation in the community. Remember, there were no phones. The only communication system that you could use was letters. So he didn't know what was the atmosphere in the community. He came back, vakadzika bhazi reusiku rekuma 6-7. And then when he came, he met vanamukoma and they asked him to do a slogan. And he could not do the slogan. Why? He was in Harare, he was there working, and he was coming home to see his family. And these guys, they beat him. After beating him, he was left lifeless. And they buried him under a mohacha tree. And after leaving him for some hours, then one person who was walking early in the morning, then he saw him, and he saw that there was a man who was buried. Fortunately, the man, he survived. They thought that they had killed him because they beat him up. They thought that they had killed him. And when this guy saw that they had buried him with some soil, and then they said, this man is alive. And that's how he was saved. But what I'm trying to say here is, this is a man who is not knowing what is happening in the situation, in the community where he's coming from. He's coming from town, he's coming to meet his family, which was allowed. People were allowed to go and work. But then, these are the same people that would then contribute to the war. He is then killed, and they took his groceries, they took his money and everything. And after that, this person, they also almost left him for dead. These are the same people that are claiming to be war veterans, and they are claiming that they fought the war. What did this man do? What wrong did he do? Did he sell out? No, he didn't sell out. But he just failed to do a slogan, which was not his problem, because he was coming from town. These guys were just, people who were just too overzealous, and they said, do a slogan, and he could not do it. So, these are some of the people that died during the war for allegedly being called sellouts. Then there are other people who died in Chimoyo, in Nyadzonya, and other places. This is group number 3. And these people, they died because the Smith regime, it went and it bombed people and it killed a lot of people. That is group number 3. Then group number 4. The group number 4 is those people who left their homes wanting to join the war. Some of them, they were killed by wild animals on their way, because some of them, they were incumbent upon themselves that they were supposed to go to war. And on their way to war, they died. I might have missed some of the group, but I just wanted to give you 4 kinds of groups. So those who came back from war, they were lucky. According to Nkosana Moyo, he was saying that these were lucky. Some of us, we lost relatives. Some of us, we lost our uncles. Some of us, we lost our brothers. And those people are not coming back. What about us who lost our relatives? What about those who lost their brothers? Right? Some of those who left their families. Imagine if it was a family, they had two children, and all of them, they went to war. The mother and the father, they thought that they now have raised kids, and those people, they went to war. What about that family that lost all their kids? Are they going to be remembered as war veterans? And they are not benefiting from what is happening right now. So my problem is, who are the real war veterans? Are these the ones that came back, or the people that donated their cows, they donated their chicken, they donated their money, they donated their children and they died. Which amongst these are the real war veterans? And why is it that they are being ignored? Yet these are the same people that are trying to fend for themselves. These are the people that their land is being taken away from. These are the same people that are being intimidated that vote for this party, otherwise we fought for this country. So I want you to tell me in the comment section, what do you think about the criterion that is being used to bring in the new war veterans, and why now? I've given you my reasons. I would love to hear your reasons. What do you think about the new number of war veterans in Zimbabwe? Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, share this video with your family and friends, and I'll see you on the next episode.